Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor, America's first licensed astrologer, and I'm here with my weekly astrological report for this week, February 18th, 2019. And of course, the biggest event going on this week is the supermoon, the full moon, tomorrow in 0 Virgo 42. Let's call it 1 degree of Virgo. We'll just round up. And I'm going to show you not only where this amazing full moon is a supermoon because it's closer to the Earth than any other of the supermoons that we've had so far. And so it's going to be very important in your life, in your chart. Let me first of all mention what the full moon represents. On the new moon, which we had 2 weeks ago, the moon, which rules function and form, it's how things move forward, how they happen. On that new moon, things started moving forward, and the energy builds and builds like a balloon that you're blowing full of air. And at the time of the full moon, you put that last breath of air into the balloon and it pops. On the full moon, and we will feel this today, which is the day before the full moon. We felt it possibly yesterday, but tomorrow, when this full moon occurs, wherever it falls in your birth chart, this is where things come to a head. Now, I tend to see the glass as half full rather than half empty. So this is going to be a plus. What you have, the seeds that you have planted on the new moon come to fruition on the full moon. I hope this is making sense to you. I've been doing this. I've been an astrology student. I call myself a student. Since 1966, so I'm very accustomed to these terms, and I hope I'm being clear. A full moon is not something negative. It is the opportunity to reap what you have sown. And so I'm going to tell you where this falls in your solar chart. And I'm going to invite those of you who do not have a copy of your actual birth chart, the actual printout, to send me your birth data, and I will send you at no charge an actual copy of your own birth chart. It is not the interpretation, it's the chart itself. Now, you can go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, and send me your birth data, the month, day, and year where you were born, the city, state, and country where you were born, and the exact time when you were born. Sometime in the morning, can't do it. It has to be accurate. And if you can narrow it down to, say a 30-minute time or a 15-minute time, do that. You are going to tell me what time to use when I cast your chart. I am not going to decide it. So I will send that to you. You can use that along with what I share, which is the solo reading, to get a complete picture. Now, tomorrow evening, Tuesday, the 19th, I will have my monthly full moon ceremony at the Phoenix and Dragon bookstore in Sandy Springs, Atlanta, Georgia. This is a ceremony I've had for about 10 years. I offer it as my gift to you. There is no charge for it at all. I hope to see you there. Bring a list of what you want to create for yourself in the next month. And we will have our beautiful ceremony, rain or shine. Now, if you can't be here in person, just tune in to, no matter what time zone you're in, convert that to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you will be in sync with us as we have our beautiful, life-transforming full moon ceremony tomorrow evening. And if you're ready for your own personal birth chart reading or forecast, my website is MaxineTaylor.com. Now, I'm kind of experimenting with a couple of different ways to present the information to you to make it easy to understand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you visuals of what's going on. Let me first of all mention that the sun, which is the center of our life, has now entered Pisces. Now you notice today is February 18th, and the energy changed. It's kind of, I think of Star Wars, where Darth Vader said, I feel a change in the Force. That's how it feels to many of you who are very super sensitive. I know you are. When the sun, or for that matter, any planet, changes sign. So now we are in Pisces, the ultimate sign of service. It is divine. It represents divine inspiration and a certain amount of service and sacrifice toward a greater cause. It is truly beautiful. Some of our greatest artists and musicians have a great deal of Pisces in their chart because they do hear that distant melody. Mercury, our conscious mind, is also in Pisces. And so we've got all of these visions, ideas, and we are expressing them very differently than we did when Mercury was in Aquarius. What you want to keep in mind is that when Mercury is in Pisces, it brings out the poet in you, the artist in you, the dreamer in you, the inspired person within you. Now, Venus, the planet of love and money, is in practical, logical Capricorn. And you know what I always say about Capricorn? I don't mope, I don't hope, I cope. And that's exactly how we are expressing our love now. You might say, well, wait a minute, I don't have Venus in Capricorn in my birth chart. That's true. But the world is feeling Venus in Capricorn, and that's how we're expressing our love nature. You combine that with Venus in your birth chart, and you have the whole picture. And Mars, wherever Mars is, that's the where we throw ourselves into things. That's what comes first to us. That deals with action and energy and do it now. Never underestimate the power of Mars, because Mars is action, warfare, anger, passion. It's energy. It rules gunfire. It's on your mark, get set, go. Now, it is in practical, logical Taurus, which is a sign of money. And so there is going to be more emphasis worldwide on money. And depending on where this falls in your birth chart, that is what is activated. Now, the full moon, when things come to a head, this is what we're looking at this week. It is the most important event. So this may look very rudimentary, but it really does tell it. Aries, the sun and Mercury, the center of your life, what you think about, are both in your 12th house of solitude and privacy. I find that when we have the transiting planets in our 12th house, we can experience a certain amount of sorrow and sadness if things don't go the way we want. There is a tendency at times to feel sorry for ourselves, and conversely, to experience great heights of divine inspiration. So the sun is where we live our life. And so you are now, Aries, wanting a lot of solitude and privacy. It's that simple. Venus, The planet of love and money is sitting in your 10th house of your career, your public image, and you are loved. This is a terrific time to move upward in your career, I might say. So my suggestion would be move upward in your career and take advantage of the popularity that you have right now. Mars is in your 2nd house of money, and you are focused on money as you haven't been in a long time. You have been planning perhaps financially. Now you're really getting into it. And when Mars is in your 2nd house, you can create, it's a get it and spend it position. You get it, you spend it. And this is what you throw yourself into now. The 2nd house also deals with our values. It's not just our possessions, it's our values. And you're throwing yourself into creating more tangible things. Go for it. And as promised, the full moon in 0 Virgo, I forget the minutes, here they are, 42 minutes. Let's just call it 1 Virgo. It is sitting on the cusp of your 6th house of work, health, and service. So there you are. There may be, the moon rules change. So there can be a change in your work. Are you adding another job, another project onto your work? Are you looking to change jobs? When it comes to health, are you changing your workout routine? This is the area of life where things come to a head. The job that you do, the service you perform, and this is the desire to be needed, the 6th house, because Virgo, which is the solar 6th house cusp of the Aries solar chart, Virgo wants to be needed, wants to be useful, and there can be a change made in the work that you do that can be very profitable because of this Mars here, creating more money. Don't you love it? Okay, let's look at Taurus. Well, Taurus, the center of your life now and what you're thinking about are your friends, your long-term hopes and wishes. This is a terrific time to be with groups of people, whether new friends, old friends, it doesn't matter. This brings out the humanitarian in you because the 11th house is normally ruled by Aquarius, which is truly a humanitarian sign. Venus, the planet of love, that's what you love to do, is in the 9th house of your higher mind. You're seeing things through the eyes of love. Now, Venus is in Capricorn. It's a very practical way of looking at things. This is a terrific time for long distance travel, higher education. You're seeing the big picture and how to apply it realistically. That's the Capricorn part. Now, Mars is in your 1st house. And wherever Mars is, that's what comes first to you. So you come first to you. With Mars in your 1st house, excuse me, with Mars in your 1st house, you're saying, I'm doing it my way. I'm doing what I want, when I want, how I want, which is right now, the way I want. And so you are putting you first. You might say, well, what about these friends up here? Yes, they mean the world to you. And now it's your turn. With Mars in your 1st house. It's your turn to lead. It's your turn to do what you want your way. The old mantra, my way or the highway, comes to mind. And the full moon, where things come to a head, is sitting on that 5th house cusp. Now remember, the cusp is the strongest part of the house. And so this is another reason why this full moon is a super moon, because it's sitting on the cusps of the solar chart, the solar cusps of your solar chart. The 5th house deals with children. And so there can be a change in your relationship with your children. There can be more time spent with kids. They're certainly going to want your attention. The 5th house is fun and games. And so there can be a change in your social life. Is there a new person on the horizon? There can be more creativity because the 5th house is creative projects. And so here we have this terrific moon that says, let's throw ourselves into our social life, our kids, our fun. So my suggestion is, Taurus, do only what you find to be fun, because that's how it's going to work beautifully for you. Okay, now let's look at Gemini. I know these are little stick figures, but they're so easy to understand. I haven't put the degrees in, I haven't put the sign in. I just want to keep it simple because, as you know, I've told you this for, gosh, since I've been doing these videos, the house placement is number one. When we come to house placement, sign placement, or aspects, house placement tells it more than anything else in my book. Check it out for yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, the Sun and Mercury are in your 10th house now. So Gemini, you are thinking in terms of your career. The center of your life is about being the star, moving upward, communicating. Mercury is communication. This can be a time to teach, to share ideas, but also to move upward. This is not a place for lateral movement. It's upward. Be the leader and interact with leaders who can help you move up. Venus is in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house, which is traditionally ruled by Scorpio in the natural zodiac, deals with secrets. It deals with anything that is hidden. It also deals with transformation. And so your love nature may be undergoing a transformation. You may be rethinking, what type of person am I interested in? Do I want to keep this relationship going? The 8th house also deals with joint finances. And so this can be a terrific time to help other people financially. This is other people's money. Help other people financially, or help yourself financially by investing with another person. The 8th house deals with sex, anything that is deeply metaphysical in nature as well. And so you will be re-examining without calling it Venus, the planet Venus and what it shares, what it teaches, which is love and money and what we love to do. And so what you love can be undergoing a big transformation while Venus is still in your 8th house. Now, Mars is in your 12th. And so you are really wanting a lot of solitude and privacy. 8th house, privacy, secrets. 12th house, behind the scenes activities. You're going to want solitude and privacy because this 10th house puts you in the limelight. So you've got to balance that with time alone. I know that all you Geminis out there know what I'm talking about. Now, Mars is also anger. Mars can be passion. And so a lot of Mars's action right now can be in dealing with subconscious or hidden anger. Why subconscious? Because the 12th house is the subconscious mind. You might say, well, how am I supposed to see my 12th house if it's subconscious? You can see it through dreams, 8th house dreams, 12th house dreams, as well as just meditate, and divine inspiration will show it to you. Your relationships with other people will show it to you. See how it feels if somebody punches your button. And so this may be a time when you stuff your anger. Not a good idea to stuff it because that can create illness. Now, you got a little help from this full moon. I've put it way down at the bottom here because it falls right on the IC, the 4th house cusp, the foundation of the chart. So there is a whole change in the foundation of your life. The 4th house deals with home and family and real estate matters. And so there is an emotional pull there, but these areas, home, family, real estate, emotional security, will come to a head at this point. And haven't you noticed that the full moon is in opposition to the sun? And what this means is the change that we experience is, since it's in opposition to the sun, puts your attention on the opposite house. And that's where the balance can come in. I love the full moon because it balances the ego, the sun. So are you thinking of moving? Are you thinking of renovating? Are you thinking of making changes to your home, to your relationships with your family members, to what you consider to be security? And this parent, whoever this parent is, the fourth house is either mother or father. The moon traditionally rules mother, so there can be mother issues that come up to be dealt with. Let's look now at, let's see, yes, Cancer. Well, Cancerians, very sensitive people anyway. So you feel the new moon and the full moon all the time when they happen, of course. Look at this beautiful ninth house. The sun, the center of your life, and Mercury in Pisces. They're both beautifully aspecting Cancer. They help you see the big picture. You're looking at concepts rather than ideas. You're ready to travel. You're ready to study. You are ready to open your eyes to a much bigger picture. And ninth house deals with long distance travel and higher education. It also deals with the higher mind. It's really quite beautiful. Okay, Venus, planet of love, is in your seventh house of partnership. Even if you are single, even if there is nobody in your life, you love being involved in that one-on-one relationship. If you are married, this is a wonderful time to focus on your partner, on your spouse. If you are in sales, everybody loves you because you're loving being with everyone else. See, wherever Venus is what you love. And when you love others, they love themselves. And because they love themselves when they're with you, they love you. It's win-win. Now look at this Mars up here in the 11th. Remember, Mars is what you fight with or fight for. It's in the 11th of friendship and group activities. And so you may find that you're involved in a group that is taking a stand for something it believes in. This would be great. Or it could be that you're going toe-to-toe with your best buddy. That's entirely possible. You are throwing yourself into group activities, friendship activities. Humanitarian organizations are terrific now. But your impatience will be with the group. And look at the moon. The full moon falls on your third cusp. Now, you've got the sun and Mercury in the ninth house, seeing the big picture. And the moon on the third cusp says, yeah, let's talk about how we implement these concepts and principles. And this deals with our conscious mind. So you're changing your mind. You're open to new ideas, and there's more communication coming from you. I have found that very often Cancerians can talk more than a Gemini can, because they share how they feel about things. And so this moon, the full moon on the third cusp, indicates short distance travel. You might say, no, I really don't want to pull out my passport. I just want to go up to the mall. That's what this is. It's also writing your blog, writing that wonderful book that's going to be a bestseller. That's the full moon, sharing your conscious ideas. Okay, Leo. Very, very interesting. Leo, you have the sun and Mercury in your eighth house. Now, the sun is the ego. Eighth house is transformation. Your ego is undergoing a transformation. Mercury, what you think about, how you think. Of course, it's in Pisces now. Beautiful. Your thinking is undergoing a change. This deals with other people's money, so you can help them create more money. You can create more money for yourself, of course, in conjunction with a partner, a business partner, or a personal partner. But your ego and your thinking are undergoing a change. And because this is a very deep house, the eighth house is traditionally ruled by Scorpio, and when we have eighth house planets, we do not take things lightly. It's serious. It's all or nothing. And this is why you will come out of this time period while the Sun and Mercury are in the 8th house transformed on some level. And that transformation can be shared with others, because, especially financially, because that 8th house is other people's money. Now look at that Mars up there. You are throwing yourself into your career. You're moving upward. This is you expressing your ambitions. I love it. You're going to fight for your career. You're going to fight for leadership, and you may fight with a leader. Okay? Gotta know that. Now, Venus is in your 6th house. Venus is the lesser benefic. It blesses whatever it touches. Blessing your health, your job. You're enjoying your work, so do only what you enjoy now. And that full moon brings finances to a head, your money. Remember, the Sun and Mercury in the 8th have you helping other people with money. The moon, change. Full moon, big change. On the cusp of the 2nd house, more money for you. Change in the way in which you earn your money. Change in your values, your possessions. This is really cool. Okay. Virgo. Wow. Some of you are ahead of me. You've already seen the moon. I know you are. Sun and Mercury are in the 7th house of other people. So the center of your life is your partner or the public. Mercury, what you think about and talk about, other people. You talk to other people. This is the time to get out there and be with other people, whether it's focusing on a spouse or a business partner. It doesn't matter. This is your time to get out there and interact with other people. Now, Venus, what we love, that's Venus. It's in your 5th house of children. And so you're going to love your kids. By the way, your pets can be your children too. So when we look at the 5th house, we're talking about not just kids, but our pets who are our children. And you adore being with them. And your children are happy. Venus, love. Now, this is the house of fun and games. So what do you consider to be fun? Go for it. You will enjoy socializing. And so with your 7th house of partnership activated and your 5th house of fun, this is a great time to socialize. This is also, if you are an artist, this is a wonderful time to throw yourself into your art. Whether it's music, textiles, it doesn't matter. But enjoy yourself. Now look at Mars up here in the 9th. You're fighting for your principles, your belief system. That's what comes first to you. You're pursuing higher education, perhaps. Or maybe you just can't wait to pull out that passport and head on out to a faraway place. It's terrific. But you are definitely taking a stand for your principles because truth is important to you now. And look at the full moon. It is sitting right on your ascendant. It's in your own sign. So what the full moon does is it helps you focus more on you. It brings you into the partnership equation. Remember, the full moon opposes the sun. And it doesn't mean that you quit caring about other people. It simply means that you're saying, hey, what about me? So you're doing what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. Yay, you. Okay. Libra. Okay. Now, the Sun and Mercury are in your 6th house of work, health, and service, and you love being needed now. Your job is important to you. Your health. With the Sun, the giver of life in that 6th house, this is a great time to go to the gym, to exercise. It's also a wonderful time to help other people in some way so that you feel that you're contributing to society. Venus, the planet of love and money, is in your fourth house of home and family and real estate and all those things that provide emotional security and fulfillment. And you're going to love being home. If you're not with your family members, simply being home is enjoyable to you now. I love the way that looks. It's also a terrific time to beautify your home, fix it up, paint it, rearrange the furniture, that type of thing. Now look at Mars, the warrior, in the 8th house. Since Scorpio rules the 8th house in the natural zodiac, and Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto and Mars, you are feeling your passion, your energy very deeply. There can be stuffed anger at this point. You will not necessarily express this anger, which is why it can be stuffed. My suggestion is that you take Mars, wherever it is in your chart, and apply it positively. Express it positively. With Mars in the 8th house, you are the psychic detective. You will fight to get to the bottom of what is going on, to get to the source of it, to get to the cause of it. Mars also can have you fighting over joint finances, whether wills, legacies, even stocks, bonds, any type of speculative thing. I'm making up new words. But it shows that your anger is undergoing a transformation. So before you pull out the dueling pistols, see what the cause of the anger is. I always say, look back to childhood, see what the current situation that is punching your buttons, where that originated in childhood. It will give you the freedom that you're looking for to bust loose. This is also you throwing yourself into situations that help other people, fighting for other people's money. I can see an attorney fighting for a client's money to help that person get their money. Really lovely. And the moon, the full moon, is on that 12th house cusp. That's the subconscious. This is a time when that subconscious is going to change. It's going to reveal to you all of the emotional needs that may have been stuffed, that may have been suppressed up until this point. This is also a time to break free, to make changes in any type of behind-the-scenes activities that you are involved with, any institutions that you may be serving. Remember, the 6th house is work. The 12th house is behind-the-scenes service. And this is going to reveal your own subconscious programming to you. It's also going to say that you want more solitude and privacy. That's cool. Scorpio, the most powerful sign in the zodiac, in my opinion. It's all or nothing, because to Scorpio, everything is life or death. So if you throw yourself into things, it is all or nothing. And the transformations that occur as a result of that are life-changing. So the Sun and Mercury are in that 5th house of fun and games. Need I say more? It's time to party. Now, the Sun is the center of your life. This 5th house can be children. And so if you're a teacher, they're going to, of course, require more attention. If you're a parent, your children are going to require more attention. They will come into their own. You know, the 5th house of children in your chart is the 1st house of self, symbolically, in your children's chart, the first child's chart. So that's a chart within a chart. And so your first child comes into his or her own, even if he or she is just 3 years old. So it's time for fun. It's time for enjoyment of all types. And Mars says, yeah, because Mars is in the 7th house of partnership. And so this is a time, if you are single, to get out there and make yourself available. Place yourself in a position where you can throw yourself into relationships. Now, you can be aggressive with Mars in the 7th house in all your relationships, shooting from the hip, so to speak. You will put other people first, and that's good because you will attract to you people who put themselves first. Your children, they are the center of their lives. Your relationships, they come first to themselves. They come first to you as well. It's a match made in heaven. Venus in your 3rd house says you're thinking loving thoughts. I don't care if it's in Capricorn. In Capricorn, it's thinking loving thoughts and applying them practically. Don't you love it? So Venus says, I want to write poetry. I'm thinking beautiful thoughts. I see things through loving eyes. When you see things through loving eyes, you create that. Now, look at the moon. The full moon occurs on your 11th cusp. This deals with friends and group activities. It deals with social activities of a humanitarian nature. So you can change groups, you can change friends, you can reconnect with old friends, make new ones. This is a wonderful time to put your hopes and wishes, because that's the 11th house, into action. Okay. Sagittarius. Wow. The Sun and Mercury are in that 4th house. So the center of your life right now deals with your home and your family. If you're not close to your family, it can simply be real estate, the real estate of your home. What this means is that you're going to want to spend your time there. It doesn't have to be that you travel miles to be with your family or invite them over, but it does mean that you enjoy being at home, even if it's sitting on the couch with a remote in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So the center of your life is home and family and perhaps real estate if you choose to use it that way, and one particular parent at this time, the nurturing parent. Venus is in your 2nd house of money. Now, it's in its natural house there because Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus rules the 2nd house in the natural zodiac. This is a time of creating more money for yourself, period, bottom line. More money, more gifts. Might want to get a lottery ticket. I'm serious, because this creates loving gifts. Wherever Venus is, it attracts love. There's your money. And Mars is in the 6th house of work, health, and service. Now, if you have any health issues that deal with inflammation, it may be because there is unresolved anger that is manifesting physically. You are throwing yourself into your work. This is terrific. Because the 6th house represents work and health, I would take my energy and give it a workout at the gym. Throw yourself into projects, but you'll find that you are very impatient at work now. Fortunately, Mars is in Taurus, so it's not like it was when it was in Aries that said, I want it now. Taurus says, okay, I'm working at my job, at my projects, and I'll get them done. And you do. Absolutely. And this is a time to throw yourself into your work, because the moon, the full moon, is on the midheaven. The midheaven is your public image. It's your career. There is a change in your public image. Have you been working to get into another slot, another position? Great, do it. The 6th house is the job. The 10th house is the career and public image. So if you have worked and are continuing to work and produce, There's going to be a change in your public image. It can be that stardom that you were looking for. But what is focused on is you as a leader. So you're going to be doing the job, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and moving into the top slot. I love that. I love that. Now, Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, look at here. You got the Sun and Mercury in the third house. You've got great ideas. You're sharing them. This is a terrific time to write your blog, to write your book, to do your videos, to communicate with other people. Mars is in that fifth house, and you are ready to party. Remember, the fifth house deals with fun, any type of fun. It can be sex, it can be movies, it can be sports. Mars in the fifth is a terrific placement to for attending sport events. Terrific. And you're throwing yourself into situations with your kids. You might be angry at them. They might be angry too. You're throwing yourself into your social life. It may not be as active as you would have wanted it to be. Now it can be. And Venus, the planet of love, is in your first house. And you love you now. It's time to beautify yourself, to change your hair, change your wardrobe, but most of all, to beautify you, to love you, to say only beautiful things about you to you. Because when you love you, everybody loves you. And the full moon on the ninth cusp says that your mind is open. Your higher mind is open. The third house are your ideas. The ninth house brings your concepts, your principles, your beliefs to a head. So get ready to express on a much larger scale. I want to make sure I've covered everything here. Yeah. Aquarius. Wow. The Sun and Mercury are in your second house, and so the center of your life is your money. You can create great sums of money now. Whatever you think about grows. Mercury's there. You're thinking about it. And so this is you creating more wealth. How much? I don't know. But it is you creating more wealth. Now, Mars is in your fourth house. And wherever Mars is, that's what we fight with and fight for. There's the family. You might be fighting over real estate. You might be fighting with family members. It might be a parent that you're angry at, because Mars is anger. And it doesn't have to manifest as anger. It can manifest as passion. Venus, beautiful Venus, is hidden in the 12th house of behind-the-scenes activities. This can mean that your love nature is looking for a more spiritual expression. With Venus in the 12th, your dream of love is so beautiful that reality cannot possibly compete with it. This can also mean that you have relationships that you want to keep private, that are nobody's business. It also means that you are enjoying your own company more than anybody else's. And so this is a time for solitude and privacy. And the full moon comes to a head on the cusp of the 8th house. That's other people's money. That's transformation. That's magic. Magic. The 8th house is the house of magic. And so there can be a change in the amount of money you give other people, in the amount of advice you give other people, in the amount of time you spend helping other people with their own money. Because remember, you're trying to create your own money now. And your understanding of the psychic realm will express itself. Remember, this is the area, the 8th house of transformation, transmutation, other people's money. That's what's coming to a head tomorrow on the full moon. And remember, we feel the full moon until the next new moon, although the energy tends to wane. Last but not least, lovely Pisces, look at this. The Sun and Mercury are both in your sign, in your first house. So the center of your life is you. You're thinking about yourself with Mercury there. And whenever the Sun is in your birth sign, whether you're an Aries, a Taurus, a Gemini, that's when it's your turn. So Pisces, it's your turn to do things your way, to do what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. And look at Mars here. In the third house. You're shooting from the hip. You're telling it like it is, very directly, very bluntly, very matter-of-factly. And Mars is in Taurus, so you're thinking in terms of practical approach, money approach. And you will tell it like it is. You will say it the way it is. You're ready to hop in the car and take a trip at a moment's notice. Do it. For sure, do it. And look at Venus in the beautiful 11th house of friends and group activities. Venus loves being with friends when it's in the 11th house. So turn to your friends for support, for love, for feelings of being welcome. You love the group as a whole with Venus in the 11th house, not the individual. Oh, but what about the full moon? We've got a mixed message going on here. The full moon falls right on that 7th cusp of other people, the one-on-one relationship. It gets you away from yourself, and it brings partnership to a head. So it might very well be that because of your friends who are loving and caring, you are put in touch with somebody who is very instrumental in your life, very important to you. There is a change then that can be made in your one-on-one status. If you're single, this can bring about a change. If you're married, it can bring about a change in your relationship with your spouse, because it's your spouse saying, hey, what about me? And that will help balance this first house where you're saying, it's my way or the highway, because the full moon allows you to put yourself in the other person's place. Keep in mind that one of the things that the full moon does is it pulls you away from your ego and puts you in the other person's place. Now, I mentioned just a second ago that when we have the full moon, we feel it a few days ahead of time. It comes to a head, and the energy continues, but as the moon wanes, the energy diminishes until we are then about 2 days before the new moon in what we call the dark of the moon. And that's when we can't see the moon in the sky. This is the time of preparation, subconscious preparation. It's a time when the energy is slow. And then on the new moon, things pick up again for the next 2 weeks and build for the next full moon. So I hope that this video has been helpful to you. I look forward to seeing you at my full moon ceremony, of course, anytime you can be there. And so to all of my friends, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours.